are a pro wrestling fan that is tired of seeing people throwing up sexual innuendos? You tired of seeing your boss all in your videos?
Listen to Square Business Radio.
Square Business with Sosa DiBiase.
WCWP 88.1. Sosa DiBiase. Square Biz Radio is where it's at.
For pro wrestling news, interviews, and discussion at its finest.
I say the future is ours. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Yo, yo, yo. We are back again. Square Business Radio is now in effect. Thank you for joining the experience. Know what I mean? DJ Arsonist in the building. What's good, Daddy?
Yo, what's good, people? Shop Shine.
How was your week so far?
So far, so good. Work has been killing me like usual. Quick happy belated birthday to Nay, my brother Navon, Michael Jordan, the greatest, Jim Brown, and Black Panther Party member, started it all, Huey P. Newton. Just want to say that real quick. Black History Month, got to throw it out there. You know I got to do. All right.
We got a lot of stuff to get into. We got a special guest. He needs no introduction. Well, they need no introduction. I got Mike Verna and PJ Stackpole in the building. Welcome to Square Business Radio.
What's good,
going
fellas?
on, man?
Pleasure being here.
Thanks for having us.
Looking forward to it.
I had like this elaborate, long Michael Buffer-esque intro for you, but I was like, nah.
We get that on the weekend.
Yeah,
That's
some
all
real
right.
dudes in the building right now, so we gonna give. You know what I'm saying? There's no introduction needed. We got Mike Verna, PJ Stackpole in the building.
Woo,
We're gonna be
woo!
going over a whole bunch of things. Stack, what's going on, man? You ain't say nothing yet.
You
What's
did.
there to say? I'm waiting.
Oh, okay.
That's him.
Let's
you know,
go.
he's,
I'm here.
let's not get into him.
I dig it.
Once I start, I can't stop going. So.
Right. But DJ Arsonist, let me talk to you real quick, man. Let me talk to y'all out there real quick. Been getting a lot of tweets, a lot of DMs. A lot of people want to join the experience. A lot of people were looking to join Square
We got
Business
a call.
Radio. We got a call already?
We got a call.
Yeah, let's answer
Wow.
it.
As soon as 7 o'clock here, that's how I go.
Talking Square Business, what up?
Hello.
You talking Square Business? Guess not.
Already hung up.
Let me get back to talking to these dudes.
They're making sure it's live so they can call.
Yeah,
later.
yeah. All right, so real quick, we've been getting a lot of DMs, a lot of tweets and all that. I'm just keeping it short and simple, man. A lot of people are DM me. Look, if you trying to work for Square Business Radio, you trying to join the experience, man, please do not come with me with ideas. I'm always open to ideas, but here's what I'm trying to say. When you have a business, let's say we in the mafia. Do you see anybody that's wanting to join the mafia going to the Don talking about, oh, I got all these ideas?
No, you gotta put
Or if you want to work
have
for
to put in
McDonald's,
work.
you go exactly to the CEO or head manager or whatever and say, yo, look, I got a better idea how we can make these hamburgers. No. You got to prove your worth somehow.
No, you got to put in work. You got to prove
You know what I'm
that you're
saying?
worthy.
It's a lot of hours, a lot of time that goes behind what we do here. It's not just getting behind the mic. Everybody want to get on the mic, but nobody want to put the work in. You know what I'm saying? It's like
That's
14,
real, that was very boss-esque.
It's 14, seriously, it's 14, 15 hours of stuff that we do with the research, and you got to fill out paperwork. We have meetings, and we fill out meeting minutes. Do you know what meeting minutes are? It's not easy at all. We are, like the program director said to you earlier, like we are the most organized radio show in the building. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to nobody else, but if you're trying to join the experience, you're trying to get with us, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to put in the work.
Exactly,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
exactly what you have to do. You
gotta,
can't just
you gotta put in the work
holler
because people
and-
just hollering at us
Yeah.
talking about, yo, I got this idea, I got that idea. Like, nah, I'm not trying to hear that. So if you see us at Chapter 1 and you see some of my staff at Chapter 1 and you see us at Psycho Circus Saturday, or you see us at any show, no, we can't do a dry run. We can't do a test run right there. If you ain't getting no approval from me, you ain't about to do nothing.
That's Saturday, April 27th.
Saturday, April
NYWC's
27th.
auditorium.
February.
February, I apologize.
You understand what I'm saying? But that's just me real quick. I had to let that be known. If you trying to work, you got to put in the work. Let's talk about giving out flyers and, you know what I'm saying, coming to volunteer events. Let's do that first, and then let's see about you getting behind the mic.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just jump on. You have to prove your worth, prove exactly what you're willing to do to actually get down on the team instead of just hollering, yo, I could do this and that. No.
Right.
Like
It's
you trying
coming out
to
the
take
woodwork
somebody's
with
spot.
ideas.
Like, no.
But anyway,
Yeah.
we had a eventful week of wrestling. Started off with let's see, what should I start off? Well, let's start off with independent professional wrestling. We had Marvelous Porus who came to NYWC, and it was at it was in Elmhurst, New York. It was on the 13th. In the singles match, Will Ferraro defeats Leo Rush. Tag team match, Jessica Black and Nyla Rose defeated Ashley Vox and Sonya Strong. In the singles match, Anthony Gangone defeats Sonny Kiss. In an 8-man tag team match, the Hounds of Hatred, Bam Sullivan, Boo Sullivan, Mouse, and Stockade with Devil Dog defeated Flawless and Lawless. Brad Benson and Willow Nightingale. In the tag team match, Davien and Kyoko Kimura defeat Mio Momono, and Renee Michelle. In the 3-way match, Ken Broe and Ariel Lennox defeated Ace Austin and Missile Assault Man. The tag team match, Brian Fury and Kyoko Kimura defeat Cheeseburger and Takumi Ohara. In the singles match, Donovan Dijak defeated Smiley. In the singles match, Rocky Romero, the man that created the Bullet Club theme, defeats the Amazing Red. In the tag team match,
I'm happy about that.
I'm very happy about that. The tag team match, Kimberly and Takumi Iroha defeat Heidi Lovelace and Sumi Sakai. I could not make it there because I was coaching my wrestling team, Jamaica High School.
Sick.
Nah, that was for Marvelous. I was
When
Marvelous. I had
was
to
Marvelous?
coach. That was on Saturday.
Oh, I thought you were
I couldn't go to next level.
Oh, but you
I was
feeling
sick.
better though?
Yeah, I'm feeling
All
much
right,
better.
peanut butter shot.
Yeah.
All right, that's what's
And
up.
we gonna go to Monday Night Raw real quick for the WWE Intercontinental Title match in the Fatal
I have
5-Way.
not seen Raw. You guys seen Raw?
No.
Bits and pieces, unfortunately.
I'm not a sadomasochist and subjective. What I'm watching.
Kevin Owens defeats Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler, Stardust, and Tyler Breeze. Kevin Owens is your new Intercontinental Champion. And
On Raw?
Yep. In the singles match,
Like it
Big E with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods defeats Mark Henry. In the singles match, AJ Styles defeats The Miz. We don't need to get into this match.
They do the Styles Clash?
You don't need to get into any of them.
Calf killer.
In the singles match, Summer Rae defeats Paige. In the singles match, Heath Slater with Adam Rose, Bo Dallas, Kurt Axel defeats Zack Ryder. 6-man tag team match, League of Nations defeats the Lucha Dragons.
We have a caller.
And Neville. We have a call. While we answering that call, I'm going to keep talking about this. In the singles match, Becky Lynch defeats Naomi. In the singles match, Big Show defeats Braun Strowman. And you're talking square business. What up?
Nice talking
We
to you
have
too.
That's 2 for 2, huh?
All right, peace.
Somebody stalking us?
All right, and then
you
we
gonna let me on the
surprised.
I think
You'd be
it's probably the same
surprised.
person you talking about that want to get down on the team.
You'd
He's
be
probably like,
surprised.
"You're not gonna let me on the team, huh?" He gonna be breathing.
Nah, it's no.
Then hang up.
Disrespect. Like,
Breathing into the food.
that's a lot of stuff that. There's a lot of stuff
Sosa.
we gotta do.
I know what you did last summer.
You know what you did?
And
What's your favorite scary
Look, I mean, let's
movie?
just cut to the chase. Raw is in bad shape now, is it not? I mean, it's just I was a groveling Raw apologist for a very long time, and it's become
Right.
a real burden to watch. It's
absolutely,
it's become
I agree.
it's become a
You
chore.
telling me that main event didn't put butts in seats?
What was
the main event?
Strowman and Big
Strowman
Show.
vs. Big Show.
Oh,
That was the main event?
Goodness gracious!
Wait, that was the main event?
That was the main
You
event.
know what's funny? I complain a lot about them having the same roundabout characters in the WWE being the main event. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Well,
Really?
it had to be the main event because Kane had to come through the ring and tear it up, so they couldn't do it earlier than that, unfortunately. But I mean, it's a chore to watch now.
But people like when you talking to people, you say stuff like that. Because I say the same thing too. And people like, oh, but you still watch it. What do you have to say to that person?
Well, truthfully, I don't. I sort of that's kind of when I'm ready to nap. And no, I fall asleep. I wake back up. I'll try to catch it. I want to enjoy it. I don't want to watch something that I don't enjoy. I love wrestling. I've always loved wrestling. But it's hard. It's very hard, the shape that they're in now.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. We got another caller.
Let's see what we got here.
You talking square business? What up?
How you doing? I got disconnected before.
Oh, what's up, man? What's your name?
Ned.
Who?
Ned.
Ned.
Ned?
Yeah,
Ned, hey, what's going on, man? You on Square Business?
What's
Radio,
going
man?
on, man? You talking square
Yeah,
business?
yeah. I want to talk to you guys real quick.
What's up?
I got a lot of respect for what you guys do. I think you guys are on point, and I like the underground wrestling scene. And that being said, what's the most amount of pizza you guys have ate in one sitting?
About
It's been a slow night, huh?
I feel like something disrespectful about to come out of his mouth, man. Go ahead, answer the question.
I think he hung up.
Mike Francesa deals with it every day, and he's been on the air for 40 years.
What a mature and relevant comment that was.
Yo,
I almost answered the question.
Nah, don't.
I almost answered the
That
question.
was a stupid question for you to ask. You understand what I'm saying?
Maybe he really wanted to know our diet.
Nah, but he said he got a lot of respect for us, so I guess I'll take that. But anyway,
I mean,
I'm telling y'all right now, we're not playing these games. Please do not do this. Do not start this. Not today, man. Oh my goodness.
I almost answered the question. I was about to say, whoa, sometimes I like to eat 2 and
hungry,
then 1 in the morning.
I don't know why they think we that kind of show, bro.
Finish, man.
But anyway, we got New Japan Pro Wrestling, the new beginning in Nagata. The 6-man tag team match, Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson and Cody Hall defeats Captain New Japan, Jushin Thunder Liger and Tiger Mask. In the tag team match, Red Dragon, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly defeats Chaos. In the 8-man tag team match, Ten Koji Matt Sydal and Ricochet defeats David Finlay, Manabu Nakanishi, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Yuji Nagata. In the tag team match, Los Ingobernables de Japón defeats Jay White and Michael Elgin. In another openweight 6-man tag team title match, the Briscoe brothers defeat the Bullet Club. They lost it within, a day?
Mm-hmm. They just win it.
Unbelievable.
Last time you
it was a day.
Yeah.
It was a day before.
Yep.
6-man tag team match, Chaos defeats Hiroki Goto, Juice Robinson, Katsuri Shibata. In the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title match, Kushida defeats Bushi. IWGP Tag Team title match, Great Bash Heel, Togi Makabe, Tamaki Hama defeats the Bullet Club. An IWGP Intercontinental match, the vacant title, Kenny the Cleaner Omega defeats Hiroshi Tanahashi. Being that you guys were the last to share a building with him, and it's very hard to get someone like Kenny Omega right now. You guys got him, PJ Stackpole. How proud are you right now of his success?
Incredibly. Well, I'm proud not just of his success, but that the fact that we were able to procure his services for our product.
Right. Yeah, I think he was someone that was very undershadowed when the Bullet Club was at its height with AJ and the Carl Anderson and Gallows and everything like that. And now that they all kind of went their own separate ways, it really gives him a chance to shine. And I think the fans in attendance for FBW really got to see what he can do. And he was wrestling Tony Nese, who I think personally is the best right now on the scene. And that's just my opinion. Yeah, that's my opinion. Yeah,
that's why we put him with him.
I think I'm all the unsigned talent
he's ready.
Right now. He's been ready, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he's ready too.
When I started my career, Tony Nese was my first trainer. I know Joel Maximo would be my trainer on the books, but I started NYWC Academy. Unfortunately, being in Brooklyn, it's hard to travel, so I had to stop for a brief period. But I had the I was very lucky to be trained by Tony Nese, and the guy knows everything. I remember, I think 2 months ago or so, he actually had the time to come down to NYWC and kind of do like an open ring with whoever was welcome in the academy. And the amount of stuff I learned in that one sitting, a couple hours. I mean, the guy he's awesome. So that alone, that match really showed.
Right. You ready to take the break? We're going to pay some bills real quick. I'm giving out cash today. I feel like giving out some cash today. Call 516.
Right here.
I'm right here. Give me.
516-299-2790 with the epic just now release of Street Fighter V. If you can guess this break music, I will pay you in cash or send it to your bank account, whatever you want to do. 516-299-2790. Can you guess this music? You can guess it. It's a Street Fighter thing. If you can guess it, you will get paid. This is Square Business Radio, only on WCWPSports.org.
It sounds like a hell of an entrance theme.
Don't worry, I'm about to say the same thing.
We're here every Sunday counting down the top 12 songs of the week.
Got good so far? Yeah, we got it. What is it? PJ, you good?
He's making sure he don't mess up the dates. He already messed up one.
That's fire.
Established it. It's taking 12 weeks from that show. Step in.
Riding home easy right there.
Step in.
I want to hear a couple.
Well, he entertained the idea of running in March.
I don't know what happened.
It wasn't.
I said something like a straight wrestling thing, though. It's like a straight intro thing.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
We gotta call him. You gotta wait till.
I hope it ain't the same dude.
Who is this Ned character?
I don't know. I see this.
You get that a lot?
Nah, we don't. We don't.
First time we've ever had like
We don't. But if I, never mind.
Okay, we're coming back.
What Killer said? This to the track.
You said,
Hey, listen, bottom line is they're listening.
Yeah, they are.
right. If you diss me on the track, I ain't
This
saying
is
nothing
Sonya
back.
Strong,
that?
and when I'm not
Follow
handling
this.
disrespectful little boys, I'm talking square business with Sosa DiBiase. Oh, and Ken, I saw your last interview.
What? God damn it. We are back. We got Mike Verna, PJ Stackpole in the building.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the Mafia before, La Casa Nostra.
Yeah.
So I think we need to take a moment to bid farewell to Big Ange of
Yeah,
Mob Wives. who
right.
passed away.
R.I.P. man, for real.
Rest in peace to Big Ange.
Thanks, honey.
We got to call, real quick, we got to call a standing by. You talking square business, what up?
You're online.
Yo.
Hello?
Hey guys, am I online?
Yeah, what's up? What's your name, bro?
Hey, what's going on? This is Joe. Hey, let me ask you.
Yo, hang up. Hang up. I'm trying to figure out what's so funny.
Our ears already laughing.
Yeah.
Same guy. He's having some fun today.
Oh, you sure it's not y'all? Because
I
we
hope
ain't never
not.
get to see y'all got
It
here.
might be. Like I said,
must
it might be.
Everyone loves me. I don't know what it could be.
Wait. We got
I heard man.
all right, we got oh my goodness.
Get to it, man.
He's from Brooklyn, New York.
Yes, sir.
229 pounds. It's a freelance if you want to call him that. One of the best in independent professional wrestling. The kids love him.
Mm-hmm.
He's only 24 years young. We got the man is still Mike Verna. What's going on, brother?
Sir,
I don't
that
have my
was a
effects.
nice introduction.
I don't have my effects, so I can't. I gotta use everything with my mouth.
What's going on, man? So let's talk real quick, man. It's all about y'all today.
I appreciate
You know
that.
what I'm saying? Let's talk about your upbringing real quick. You are from Brooklyn, New York, man, and a lot of I like to hear people's upbringings because I spent some time in Brooklyn, New York, East New York, in the projects. Where did you how was your upbringing in Brooklyn?
I would say, well, I came from Bergen Beach, so a lot of people, it's probably the most suburban place in Brooklyn.
Right.
Not a lot of people don't even know where it is, but it's on the opposite side of Flatbush. I mean, pretty regular life, sports throughout.
Everything you think about Brooklyn is the opposite.
It's the absolute opposite. That's the best way.
So
it's probably the least hard
There are
place in
trees,
Brooklyn.
grass.
It's kind of like Long. We gotta call it.
It's long. Yeah, it's like Long Island.
Let him sit. Well,
It's like Long Island. That's for sure. It's like Long Island. That's a good way to put it.
let the caller sit for a minute.
No, we'll take it.
take 'em?
Yeah,
Let's see.
we try and get some
Boy.
questions.
See if it's Ned or Joe.
Let's make this
Talk to square
productive.
business. What up?
Hey, I got a call for Dragon. I'm Dre. I got a call for PJ.
Oh boy, let's hear it, buddy.
PJ, can I get a roast beef and cheese, mozzarella stick, cheese fries? Take a double shot of rat poison for yourself, you disgrace.
Wow, that was heavy. He's referring to in another life, and sometimes on the
Yo,
weekends. I
listen.
work at a very highly acclaimed restaurant in Brooklyn,
Oh, okay.
Brennan and Carr Restaurant. I encourage you all to go there. So it's no secret, and so that's what he was referring to with the cheese beef. As far as the rat poison, no, could have done better than that, sir.
Like, you was really gonna make him a sandwich here, though?
Hey, listen.
I'll hook him up if you come on the weekends.
You
When
got
I'm,
the cold cuts in
when
the
I'm
car?
Make him a hero.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
Like, you could have a cold cut here. I ain't got no bread, though. Just get-
The Subway's still open, I think.
oh, well.
See, it's basically like Long Island, more
Yeah.
or less. You know, it's a good spot. I pretty much grew up playing baseball. That's always been my first passion. Wrestling's always been my second.
Right.
You know, when you start playing baseball on a competitive level, you always turn to something else you love, and that was wrestling. So when I stopped playing out of high school, I decided to coach instead of playing college ball because most people come to the realization that you're not going to become a pro baseball player.
Yeah.
It's a very hard thing to do. So I fell in love with coaching and started going to the gym. And then next thing you know, I said, let's try this wrestling thing out.
What position did you play in baseball? Because I played baseball too.
Catcher and first base.
Catcher and first base. I played pitcher and second.
All right.
Pitcher and second base. Well, high school.
Up the middle.
What high school you went to?
James Madison High School.
James Madison.
I'm still there.
You know.
Shout out to my boys.
One of your wrestlers beat my kid to go to the gold medal match for the PSAL City Championships.
Really? What year was this?
It was this year. What was it?
That's
Saturday.
the wrestling match you just said he just went to.
I was so heated, yo.
That must be Stevie's kid.
Because he beat the number 2 seed that everybody was scared of. My kid beat him. You understand what I'm saying? And then he went to Madison. Not saying no disrespect to the kid, but the kid he kept talking to my kid like, just take it easy on me. Like he was like, good for you.
Psyched him out.
Yeah, like psyched him out. So he kind of got in there lackadaisical, and the kid beat him, man. He wasn't listening. My kid was not listening to me. He went in wrestling in his own match, and Madison gave it to him.
Where do you coach at?
Jamaica High School.
Oh, Jamaica High School.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Did that thing flash?
We got another call.
Well, let's see. What do we got now?
You want fries with it?
You ready?
We talking square business. What up?
Hey, I got a question for Mike Verna.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like it seems to me like when I was growing up, wrestlers used to wear pants more often. Not enough wrestlers are wearing pants these days. You guys are doing a lot of scam.
Thanks for noticing.
That is true. I'm glad. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Yeah, but
he's not wrong. This guy's definitely wrong, but he's not wrong.
It's usually the wrestlers with the skinnier legs that wear the pants, and when you have big old gams, you like to show them off. They're just another muscle.
Did you get this when y'all last shows?
Yo, we never got this much calls. Thank you guys.
It's the same person, whoever it is.
They love us.
It's like maybe they can't holler at y'all during the show, so they have an opportunity. You know what? They chilling right now. They ain't got the pads on, so I'm gonna holler at them now. Weird is weird, man.
We're here.
How much pizza?
Right? You still tripping over that one?
We got pizza. We got rat poison.
Mike,
we got Cheetos.
He eats so much pizza he can't fit into pants. That's the problem.
Mike, you are the current
Yes.
FSW World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes.
You won the belt twice.
Yes, 2-time.
And you also won the FBW Tag Team Championships with the Big O as the Mega Muscle.
Yes, sir. And current Dynasty Heavyweight Champion.
Current Dynasty.
I see a lot of titles over there.
And so far, so good.
We got another call. This is so weird
This
today.
is harassment.
Yeah. You talking square business? What up?
Yeah, how you doing, buddy? I got a question for PJ Stackpole over there.
Yes, sir.
Just watch your mouth for me, please.
Excuse me?
I said watch your mouth.
Watch my mouth.
Keep it PG.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, fellas.
Yes, sir. What can I help you with?
Pat, are you still a virgin or what?
No.
You loser.
You see?
Kayfabe is a beautiful thing, huh?
Oh boy, like they didn't.
They couldn't wait to catch y'all. That's what I'm saying.
I hope all of my bosses at these various wrestling promotions now see the heat I'm able to generate. That they're willingly calling in for 30 seconds
without touching nobody or spitting on nobody. That's awesome, man.
That's true.
So it's like as soon as they heard PJ Stackpole, oh word, what's the number?
516.
So PJ,
fire on
real
him.
quick. I don't know if I should be asking you this or I should be asking the other FBW management. What's the situation with the venue agreement at the American Legion to the new venue you guys are at now? Because can I be honest for a second?
Yeah.
I'm Catholic, and I feel eerie when I go into a Catholic church to watch professional wrestling.
Right.
Because it's too different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's just me. So,
yeah, I get you. The Catholic, as long as the venues themselves don't have a problem with it, and clearly they don't.
Right.
Wrestling has always been family friendly, and everyone knows what it is, so I don't think they have an issue religiously with any of the content. As far as why we moved, why not? I mean, I think we've really had a foothold at the American Legion for a very long time, and now other companies are also running there. So why not try our hands somewhere else? And the biggest house we ever drew was the first house we drew outside of the American Legion. So, and like I said, a lot of companies are running there now, so why split the pot with anyone? Why not negotiate a new wheel and a new deal and go somewhere else?
So you basically
close
expanded to this place then?
Yeah, I wouldn't say we're never going to run in the American Legion again. I'm sure we'll be back.
Yeah.
So why not try in different neighborhoods, different groups, and
I'm going to try to put my hand, because the last event stayed until I got sick. I was sick, so I couldn't make it that one. But honestly, we got another call.
Every time we get a call.
Yes, you can have a beef. No, I'm not a virgin.
This is you talking square business? What up?
Yeah, this is Jerry from Brooklyn. I want to speak to Verna.
What up, Jerry from Brooklyn?
Jerry, baby.
Oh, God. He's good. He's good.
I know who this is. I know who this is.
It's a hell of a
I think
fan.
so.
People of Brooklyn want to know when you're going heel. They're sick of seeing you baby face.
Oh.
Very good question.
Boy. What's heel and what's babyface? I don't even know what that is.
Thank you for your question, bro.
Thank you. I love you.
Well, I mean,
that is a dear friend of ours. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I'm already in this mode. Like, everybody's trying to be disrespectful. So shout out to him.
Let it happen. It's okay.
Yeah, right. You got it.
It's gonna
Gotta
happen.
let
It's
it go.
wrestling. It's wrestling. People don't have things to
This
say in
is
wrestling.
this is a first for me. So
I'll filter him. Don't worry.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, that's a really hard question to answer. I mean, I've been lucky from my start that people have been able to kind of attach themselves to me, and the fans, I guess, can connect and emotionally and be invested in. They've done nothing but treat me well. So, I mean, for me to quote unquote turn heel, it's going to take a lot. That being said, other places around the United States, some people don't like me so much because when you show up with, like the caller said before, in less revealing clothing and you have some muscles and you're oiled up and you walk around with someone who clearly people don't like, that makes them not like me. So, I mean, it seems like whenever I'm attached to PJ
It's a matter of
Stackpole,
adhering to the circumstances of the time, the neighborhood you're in, what the promoter's looking for. I mean, a lot of that is not on our hands, but as long as the fans are cheering, it becomes very easy to
and it becomes very hard to dislike them. Let's put it that way.
It's like they make you a scumbag by association or something.
That's
yeah,
true.
because
not even
that
right.
is true. Because when we see at these shows, everybody's trying to hug you, high five you. Now they trying to act crazy because PJ is crazy. Yeah, but you are actually against the evil forces that you were once with.
Yeah, I know.
So
that.
I'm still trying to figure out why people still hate you.
It must
I think what people don't understand about
personality.
PJ in this situation is that he's still a POS. He's still a bad person.
Right.
But bottom line is you got 4 guys coming in trying to take over the company. So if he's got to turn the devil he knows.
It's the devil you know
and
versus
the devil you
don't
You're
know.
absolutely
So
right,
I think I've become sort of sympathetic by association, though clearly not.
Right. But Mike, is your main goal to still main event WrestleMania?
I think that's the route everyone wants to be.
If you're in it for any other reason, you're wasting your time.
Yeah, if you're in this business and someone tells you that they want to do something else, I think they're crazy because in reality, independent wrestling should not be your source of income.
Well,
nor can it be.
It could come that way, and you could be very, very lucky to make a good amount of money doing what we do. But bottom line is, not only do you want to fulfill your dream and headline the biggest show of them all, but you also want to make a living doing it. So, I mean, I would say so. I mean, don't get me wrong, going to Japan, doing AAA, stuff like that, that's always there, on the table for a lot of guys. But, I mean, to not want to be in the biggest company of them all is tough to deny.
But that's what I was going to get into, like PJ said earlier. He said it's a chore watching Raw, just like it's a chore watching WrestleMania.
But it's not a chore watching NXT, right?
Nah, it's not. It's not a chore watching NXT. But you don't feel that being at the best of the Super Juniors or being at Wrestle Kingdom 11, you don't think that's the end all be all for you as well?
That's you.
You want to reign WrestleMania.
I guess you're right. I mean, if you look at it like that, I mean, there are different platforms where the success and the goal is very comparable to WrestleMania because Wrestle Kingdom can probably go down arguably as a bigger event than WrestleMania in this era.
If you're an actor, don't you want to win the Oscar?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what you're going for?
And unfortunately, the WWE is the Oscars.
For better or worse, right?
And
I mean, it is what it is. It's
absolutely right. No matter what, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So I mean, and not only that, you want to be a household name in America as well as all over the world. But I think
you could be Arnold Schwarzenegger and then have a great career. But I think you always kind of want the Oscar. I think that's what you want. It may not be a priority for everybody, but who's going to turn it down?
You're absolutely right.
You always want to reach the pinnacle.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right.
Otherwise, you're wasting your time.
Absolutely right.
The Hall of Fame is based off the WWE. Remember that,
Right.
The PWI 500 may be a
WWE
bigger
is
achievement to some people, but
it's not about that. To who looking as far as somebody else is concerned. It's about what's the highest out there, which is WWE.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
During
it's arguable. Don't worry.
What time?
Yeah, it's time.
All right, it's time to take a break.
All right.
We can pay some bills real quick. If you can guess this, you will get paid 516-299-2790. This is Square Business Radio, only on WCWPsports.org.
They definitely enjoy PJ a little bit, but
I think they're trying to be the jerky boys.
Yeah.
Just have nothing else to do.
That's Balro.
Disney to me is nothing but
That is Balro. Oh, M. Bison. Boxer. You can't say
In the big red hat. Right? Red bison.
Bison in Japan, Balrog in America. It's
The number one Disney radio. We cover it all, from movies to the parks, Broadway, and beyond. Check out our blog and hang out with us Fridays 2 to 4.
What's this right here?
NYWC.org.
Oh, that's the computer, right?
Tuesdays, playing your favorites from the
computer's in the shot.
1960s
Oh, is it?
to the early
Looks like
2000s.
it, see?
Oh, yeah, it is. It moved on me.
Yeah. See, fucking PJ's in the shot. I'm in there, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight.
That's space, huh?
Wide shot is good.
Yeah, it's you three. It's because Mike's over there.
Every Tuesday from 2 to 3 or 6 to 7.
It'll be cutting on these guys for the most part anyway.
This is TJ Marconi, the ace heavyweight champion of the world. With my good brother,
The Devil's Outlaw Stockade, the NYWC champion.
and you want to get your wrestling news, if you want to hear all the stats, Square Biz Radio is where it's at.
Check it out, or else.
We are back. This is Square Business Radio on WCWPsports.org. We got PJ Stackpole.
Ready.
And
Know what it
Verna,
is.
The man of steel is in the house right now.
You already know. You already know.
516-299.
You already know. You already know. You don't know. You already. I'm sorry.
516-299-2790. If you could guess that break music that we just played before the commercial, it's Street Fighter music in lieu of Street Fighter 5's release. If you can guess it, you will get paid. 516-299-2790.
Call in and roast PJ.
Yeah.
and get paid while you're at it, right?
They get paid too.
Oh, sorry. That
Well,
was so funny to me.
Well,
call it a roast PJ.
You started your career in 2013, correct?
Yeah.
How was it for your parents to deal with you wrestling? We got a caller.
That is funny.
Okay, hold that question.
Should have never said that.
Talking
man.
Square Business, what up?
How you doing, fellas? This is Mr. Julius calling out of Queens.
What's going on,
Hey,
Julius?
what's going on?
You got a question for Verna?
Yeah, Verna. Yeah, I actually had the opportunity to train with Verna back in the day, like say this past spring.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just wanted to know about I know that originally the FSW training classes were in Brooklyn over underneath the Gowanus. So the Bronx, and a lot of the talent from FSW, like Certified Sexy, House of Pain, Dre, and all those guys. I know that they're residents of the Bronx. So just as a question, I don't know if you know this or not, but was there any sort of politicking on their part to get the training classes to be in that section?
Actually, no, there wasn't any politic. The problem was that we were in the middle of a move, and we still are in the middle of a move. And the guys from the Bronx, they were kind enough to open up the spot in the gym for us to train until everything got really hashed out. But I didn't personally, from my perspective, I didn't see any politicking in regards from the Bronx guys at all. I think they just gave us a nice, really nice spot to train, and we were able to keep doing what we got to do. And thank you for training with me, by the way.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, last time I saw you, you were at the Elmcore Center in Queens. You did that spot where you jumped off of the rafters.
Yeah, that was something. A lot of people do remember that, so I appreciate you that you mentioned it.
He landed on you?
He landed.
Yeah, he was there. That bum.
I've done a lot of things together. We're going to get into it a little bit more, but thank you for your call,
Thanks,
Julius. I
Julius.
appreciate
Thank
your
you, bro.
respect, man. Well,
Landed on PJ?
back to They did a whole
It's
bunch
obviously
of
for
stuff.
the best, don't you say? But
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Well, let's get back.
about your parents.
Let's get back to your
this is
parents.
one of the questions that a lot of people ask every single time. My dad's a big sports guy, so when you're a big sports guy, you're never really a big wrestling guy.
Yeah. Right.
And when I first started training, I kind of kept it under the wraps a little bit. I didn't really tell them so much. They knew I was interested in doing it, and my mother, who's an Italian woman with the Italian nerves and everything like that, signed the cross with everything. She was like, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to kill me. You're going to give me a heart attack. Nope,
Not my
exactly.
baby.
Just stay home. I'll cook for you. That type of things. And I think once they actually started seeing me actually in the ring and doing it, their mentality changed. Now they're very much into it. My mother can't sit through a match, so that didn't change. She runs out the front door. They also have got to know a lot of the wrestlers. So when they see me wrestle certain individuals, they either genuinely dislike them or they're heartbroken that I'm wrestling them. It's very hard, but it's thankfully they definitely support it now. It came a long way. It was an adjusting period, especially like I said, playing baseball is a big different than taking body slams and jumping off things.
Jump off
a 40-foot thing. Yeah, that's for sure. But they support me, and that's the best thing anyone can really ask for.
Well, speaking of support, this man right here, PJ Stackpole, has supported you through thick and thin.
Oh boy,
you guys are like I don't know. You guys are like brothers. Like it's like watching.
Apparently, sweet and sour.
Right.
As for what they're saying.
It's like watching
a Sour Patch Kid.
Hey,
you
guys are the
PJ.
actual. You guys are the actual step brothers. Like 1 minute you guys love each other, and then the next y'all trying to kill each other. So. PJ, how long have you been managing? Like, how long have you been doing this managing?
As long as Mike's been wrestling. His first match was my first match.
Since 2013.
Yeah, October 2013.
Right. And the fact that we look like Superman and Lex Luthor have added a dimension to our relationship.
It's done a lot more than we thought.
That's a nice little play on words.
Who would you say your managing skills? Who can you compare your managing skills to?
I try not to, once you try to compare, you pigeonhole yourself, and people are going to, you don't want to be associated too closely with any one person. Otherwise, don't do it. You want to be your own person. But if pressured for an answer, I would say you can only hope to be the Bobby Heenan in the sense that you get real heat, but also they're happy to see you, and they want to see you, and you entertain them, and at the same time, they want to kill you. So if you can walk that line, I think is the best. No one's ever going to cut promos the way Paul Heyman does. But if you could get them to hate you as well as be entertained by you, I think that's the highest plateau.
As long as they're talking about you, as long as you're discussing it, that's all that really matters.
I think clearly that's also what the main thing about his character is that he clearly can generate actual heat, and for a guy like me, who pretty much primarily is a good guy in wrestling, whenever I go upstate to Dynasty, and like I said, the fans there don't see eye to eye the way the people in the city do.
There's a culture clash between the city slickers and the
exactly, and the outskirts of Albany, New York. But that being said, it's good to have a guy like him on your side because he can get that genuine
You just said it before, guilty by association.
That's
Sometimes
really it.
if a guy gets popular, that's why they put Punk with Heyman and Bearer with Taker, and sometimes
I think one of the most funny spots that correlates to that is the championship match at Dynasty. It was a tournament. Last match was me against Orlando, and one of the biggest pops in the entire match. And keep in mind, the night is basically progressing. They're hating me and him more and more as the night goes.
It's a tournament, so we had 3 times out.
3 times to really show the crowd this is what we do. This is why you should hate us. This is why you hate us.
Right.
And one of the biggest pops is when I was on the apron. He was on the apron, and Orlando had bumped me into him, and
we both tumbled out.
We both tumbled out, and the place went crazy.
Exploded.
Place went crazy. That to me, that's genuine heat right there. If he gets his butt thrown on the floor, and he has nothing really to do in the match, I mean, it shows you that he got his. That's your goal. That's your main job. Get the heat.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they just want to see him get hurt so bad, and they wait for it.
Yeah,
They
that's
anticipate it. They want it so bad, and then when it happens, yes, finally!
You can't give it to him too much.
God, I love it.
And I think that's the beauty in wrestling. A lot of people forget about genuine heat and genuine babyface sympathy, or genuine babyface pop, for lack of a better word. It's, you got to get that heat to counteract.
Too many heels want to be cool now. They want people to sort of think that they're cool.
Yeah.
I go for pure guttural hatred and no redeeming social quality.
Yeah. Right. So you don't have no merch. You don't sell merch.
He definitely doesn't sell merch.
I don't.
Oh, you
right,
don't
that's
talk
another.
You don't talk to anybody afterwards, or anything like that.
Yeah, I avoid it as best I can. You don't want to let them look too deeply into, behind the curtain. You want to keep that presence. If I talk to them, they're going to say, "Oh, he's a good guy. He's not that bad," and that's going to undermine my goal, which is to go out there.
You want to get that fantasy out to them.
You want them to say, "You know what? I know it's all a show, but he's a real jerk. He's a sincere bad person."
And it clearly works.
And I'm doing them a favor because they're enjoying the show more than they would if they didn't think that.
It's funny too because in FSW and FBW for that matter, there was a long time where our feud transcended a lot. More than any other true wrestler feud. It was Mike Verna versus PJ Stackpole was a big deal.
Right.
And then you can just plug in other wrestlers and the feud goes on.
Yeah, and I think that shows what kind of heat a manager could bring to the table and what kind of longevity a storyline can have because of it.
Best angle of all time is Austin McMahon. McMahon don't wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best feud of all time. There's no question about it.
Absolutely. And,
challenge me.
I would say Vader and Flair.
Wow,
really?
That's first
That's
I've heard
good,
that.
but that don't come up that often.
I would say
Starcade and Charlotte, right?
Yep.
Hell
I would
of a
say
match.
Vader and Flair because he had the young Charlotte. Rest in peace to Reed Flair.
R.I.P.
David Flair. They were all there. You really
It
felt
was so emotional.
And Vader had a manager, Holly Race, and that
Holly
added
Race.
that whole other dimension,
Holly
the long
Race.
time
We
Race
gotta call it.
Flair.
And he had that sweet Riviera Steakhouse jacket.
Yeah,
on Vader
always.
did.
I think
That
that's
was great.
every
Yeah.
wrestler's dream is to have that jacket.
We got another caller. I really want that
jacket.
jacket. You talking square business? What up?
Hey, PJ.
Sir.
This is a Regal Beagle.
Oh, how are you?
I want to know when you're getting in the ring.
When I'm getting in the ring?
Yeah.
Whenever someone steps up.
All right, I'm
They don't got the guts. What are you doing now, buddy?
Going to get some ice cream.
Go and get some ice cream.
It's like 30
I'll
degrees.
drop them off for you.
Has that been you calling in or no?
Nah, not me. Come on.
Okay, buddy.
All right, Mr. Beagle, thank you for your question.
I'm going to get some ice cream.
I hope, there's some ice. Speaking of ice cream, I had some ice cream. It was like some Reese's peanut butter cup by what's that cow ice cream? I don't know. It got the cow on front. Ben and Jerry.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that ice cream is fire.
It's not good. I ain't going to hold you. I had some of that the other day.
It is fire.
A lot of fat. PJ's actually been in the ring.
Yeah, we gonna get it. We gonna get into that too. But
takes a good ass.
Let's
I'm 1-1.
let's backtrack a little bit because we didn't ask the question that a lot of fans want to know. Or, well, fans know, but we try to introduce the students at LIU posting all over the New York State tri-state area to who you are. Why do they call you the Man of Steel? No copyright infringement.
Well, that's the reason why it's Man of Steel.
And please don't say what I'm thinking. Like
what we talked about earlier.
Because if that was it, I'll leave
PG.
this whole.
It's PG.
I hope so.
What did y'all talk about last time? What
I don't know what you talking about. Yeah, because you know.
So why do they call you the Man of Steel?
Well, I'll just do the setup. We sat a long time trying to think of a name because you need something catchy.
Yeah.
And we
Well,
were
let's put it this way.
thinking
The first thing I said when I broke into the business was I don't want to change my actual name. Look, my real last name is Verna. Bottom line. I've been told it was too Italian for wrestling, so I cut it.
Oh, and Verna's better.
It rolls off your tongue a lot better, you know.
2 syllables.
Angle, Benoit, those guys.
Cena.
But Cena, it's just easier. So when we were thinking about it, I got thrown a lot of names. I got thrown Ethan Chase, Mike Fox, a lot of weird names. I said, no, I can't do this. So I came up with Mike Verna.
They didn't give you the Ringmaster?
They didn't give me the ringmaster. They didn't give me the shiny money belt either.
I know the ringmaster gimmick sucked.
So I was sitting there, and now that we have Mike Verna, what are we going to go by? A lot of people always compared me to Chris Benoit.
Right.
So
we can't.
Not a route you want to go.
It's a wrestler that will not be mentioned.
Voldemort.
We don't speak of.
That being said, I got a lot of ideas thrown at me, Wolverine related. There's someone even wanted to call me Mike Benoit, and I said, let's just separate that all together. I'm not going to be the bastard son of Chris Benoit.
So I start doing flying headbutts.
That's it.
Remember what happened to the last son of Chris Benoit?
Oh God! Okay, too soon. It's still. This is why people hate him. This is why people hate him.
We had a real good show.
I
loved you guys, man.
It was a good run.
I am trying to get a job in the future.
It was a good run.
That being said, just segue off that, I showed up to training one day with a Superman shirt on.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there with Joel.
And he's looking.
And he's looking. And I said,
the
you know
gears
what?
are turning.
Let me run to Checkers. And we ran to Checkers. We had a meal, came back, and we said, we're going to go with the Man of Steel. Because when you put the shirt on, you put the curl on, you got the black hair, no beard at the time. It kind of fit.
Right.
Now, what I've done to pretty much maximize the character, rather than just going around calling myself Superman, is at my stature, you do have the Superman build, as they say, and the Superman look, but I fly, which is a dimension in my repertoire that a lot of people wouldn't expect. You know, I say Brian Cage does that too. A lot of big guys don't necessarily fly, but for the most part, big guys don't fly. So I threw that into the repertoire, and then luckily I've able to use my my gym hobby and turn it into the ring, and I show my main focus in the ring is strength. Right. I carry multiple guys. I'll throw this guy. I'll gorilla press that guy. So. It kind of all came together. But then it's funny because you mentioned before the Big O. Yeah. I'm used to being the bigger guy in the ring, and then I stand next to him, and I'm like,
you look so small.
Hey, big man, So, I mean, it's kind of, he's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Well, we're going to come right back. We're going to pay some bills. This is Square Business Radio, only on WCWPsports.org, and we're going to go back to the release of Street Fighter V, and you can guess this theme and call 516-299-2790. We will pay you. Call in 516-299-2790.
Just tell them how much you're going to pay them.
Not yet. We got PJ Stackpole. It's money. Money's money. We got PJ Stackpole, Mike Verna in the building. The Square Business Radio, only on WCWPsports.org.
How much are you planning to pay them? How much are you giving them?
Then head over
like
to the
20,
Pratt Recreation
40.
Center.
That's good enough. That's nice that you're giving him something.
Add me at 20.
Indoor jogging trail,
Shoot,
weight
that's
room,
like
fitness studio,
15% off our
doing nothing, right? Doing nothing.
Lots of variety of classes are offered as well.
what
Make
the
the
song
most
is?
out of your college experience.
This is Street
And
Fighter
maybe
things.
keep
They
your
remixed them,
resolutions
so
here.
you
For
can't
hours and
understand.
events being
Like,
offered
off
this
the top.
weekend, head over to liu.edu/college.
Yeah.
There's a tasty
I'm like,
recipe
wait, that
for
sounds
great
That was
I thought that was
like
Black
the
Sabbath.
levels.
Like Black Sabbath level music. This ain't no Street
But
Fighter
it's like
theme.
Right.
So you can still hear the old Street Fighter 2 theme.
It's buried in there.
Yeah.
Sounds better with the remix happening up there.
I always like the fat sumo guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll never be back in there.
No?
That was always a Mortal Kombat.
They got other fat guys in there now.
He's like, you can't be the token fat guy anymore. What do you have? I like Mortal Kombat too.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat 10 is fire.
They just released the combo pack.
They even do a crossover?
Huh?
Leatherface.
Yeah, they got Leatherface, Aliens.
Square Business Radio.
We are back. It's your boy Social DiBiase, DJ Austin, it's Mike Verna, PJ Stackpole. This is Square Business Radio. We've been talking with Mike Verna about his parents, his history,
Fine people.
evolution of who is the man of steel, and PJ Stackpole has been getting roasted.
Accurate.
Well, excuse me. Let's get a little bit into the heart and soul of Mike Verna real quick.
Oh boy.
It's a shallow place.
Money in the Bank, 2011.
Oh shoot! Wow, you did your research.
Let me finish.
The bowels of YouTube have been.
Money in the Bank, 2011. What does that mean? What does that date mean to you?
You mean the Shield versus the Usos? Yep. The pre-show match? Yep. Oh boy, that is the sole reason why I got back into wrestling. Right. End of story. Like I said, I started in NYWC. And I'm out. My real job is actually I'm a GNC franchise supervisor. So I
wasn't gonna put that out there, but you did.
It's all good. It's all good. Come shop at GNC. Put whatever.
Yeah.
That being said, I got a pretty good promotion at a very young age, and at the time NYWC is about 2 hours away from me. And we used to do training Tuesdays and Sundays. And because of the new job, it was almost impossible to fulfill those. And as much as, I wanted to do it, it was just almost impossible. At that age, you got to take in what's being given to you, and that's a pretty good job. So I had to stop. And ever since then, there was so many times I wanted to text Shane and just be like, Shane, I need to come back. What can we do? How can we make this just fit my schedule? And obviously, NYWC,
can't stop the world for one person.
Yeah, the NYWC Academy is so great and so put together that they're not going to stop it for one person.
Right.
So I had to kind of sit back, and there was something about that pre-show match and the crowd going absolutely.
That was in Philly, wasn't it?
It was in Philly, yeah. Absolutely going crazy for just the emotion. Like I said, at that age, 18, 19 years old, wrestling is not what it was when you were a kid. You can't just pop to the stories. You get invested to a single match and sometimes a single storyline. Roxine is one of them that people our age and our generation can go back and say, I
you
felt
talking
that.
about twice in a lifetime?
Twice in a lifetime. Could have been third in a lifetime for all we know. But that first feud, I'm sure at our age, that's something we could have got invested to. You question if it's real or not.
Yeah.
WWE just has spurts of good stuff now. Like occasionally you'll find one.
So
in there.
you are you both in agreements that Rock Cena was good all the way through?
Wait, you talking about the
I thought it was excellent up until they had to have the rematch in.
I'll say this. I think it was excellent up until John Cena was on the ramp after the match giggling.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when it became flat because now you knew right then and there this was going to happen again.
Yeah.
Right.
This was going to happen again. I think when The Rock won, part of you was relieved, and a lot of people in the indie circuit call me John Cena. So the more and more you can't see me, guys. You can't see me. The more and more I've done this, the more and more I can kind of connect with him and understand why he does what he does. And it's funny, back to the question that Jerry from Brooklyn mentioned before about turning heel. I've had that conversation with a lot of promoters, and a lot of promoters flat out said, I cannot turn John Cena heel. It's not good for business.
No.
It's not this. It's not that. And part of me is very honored that they look at me in that light. But at the same time, it's not that you get bored of it, but you realize that one day these fans are going to turn on you. Bottom line, there's only so much they could see of one person in one single
you want
role.
to be ahead of it.
You want to be ahead of the curve. So
they do want to change the pace as well, but with a name like Man of Steel, that's kind of contradicts you going, heel.
Well, it's funny that you said that because when I have been heel before, and I worked for Warriors of Wrestling.
But you were a Man of Steel then, though.
I was something called the next best thing. So when I'm in, the next, not next big thing, next best thing.
Right. So you use a Samsung phone.
That's exactly what I was. That's it. Here comes the pain too. But
here comes the pain.
So now when I'm in Dynasty as a heel, I'm pro wrestling's next best thing, the Man of Steel. So right away, and once again, the correlation with Lex Luthor, it all works. But you're right. The Man of Steel name, it would need some sort of twist.
Yeah.
It would have to be a corporate Superman, for lack of a better word.
Or Bizarro or something.
Don't you hate it when they turn a guy heel and suddenly he just wears a suit? And he's immediately a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
In fact, just to touch
Do
back on
something
that comment we just made, I just wrestled at National Pro Wrestling Day for Chikara.
We was about to get into that. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I did something a little bit different. So for the Chikara audience, everything's very character driven, very over the top.
Yeah.
So I went in there and I said, okay, if I come out, they wanted me to play heel. Quack wanted me to play heel, which I was like, okay, I've done it before. To be honest with you, I think I'm a better heel than Baby. But I've just been doing it for so long that it is what it is. So I came out and I said, okay, if I come out with the muscles and come out as the Man of Steel and I, piss off the fans, they're going to boo me, but they're not really going to boo me. So what I did is I went out there in the back, and as it's a long day, it's about 5 hours of wrestling. So as the match got closer, I decided to make my entrance with glasses on and basically an Adidas tracksuit.
Right.
And I walked out there, and every time the announcer tried to announce me, I kept saying, no, I'm some guy. I'm not the Man of Steel. I'm some guy. Basically a Clark Kent kind of spin-off.
That's dope.
And the fans loved it. They were chanting, and the guy was wrestling.
That's a babyface thing to do more so.
Let me continue. So the guy I was wrestling was Thunderfrog, and he was over as
Rover,
whatever you want to call it. And man, they were almost, and he won the cup. He won the Young Lions Cup.
Yeah.
So they were kind of split between me and him in the beginning, and then his character is he's basically Thor as a frog.
Yeah.
So he has the big mallet, the big hammer. He puts it in the middle, and no one can lift it up. So now some guy's gonna try.
Yeah.
So I look around, I unzip, I become Superman. So they pop. But as soon as I take off the stuff and I start showing the muscles, instantly Superman becomes a piece of trash.
Yeah.
And just like that, you were able to kind of change it up. So right then and there, I mean, I got a lot of good feedback from the character because, like I said, it kind of came off top of my head, and I'm kind of happy I went with it because it worked. But it shows that you can kind of just Superman at times. If you make people realize that you're Superman and Superman's better than all the regular people, they're gonna hate you.
The minute Superman says "because I can," he's going heel.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's a good way to
the
put
minute
it.
he starts saying hustle, loyal, and respect.
We had that earlier question of when you were getting in the ring, and little does he know that you were in the ring. You both were in the ring with
Matt Stryker.
Yes, Matt Stryker. You both were in the ring with Matt Stryker. How was it team with somebody like Matt Stryker? But before we get into that question, you, sir.
Oh, God.
You did a kip up.
Yes, sir.
PJ Stackpole, ladies and gentlemen, did a kip up and a sweet chin music.
Eat your heart out, Sean.
And it was kind of better than Sean's, too.
I know it was.
The kip up was A1. So.
It was done to the other. It was done to the other manager.
Omega Black.
Yeah.
The circumstances was such that it became a spontaneous 4-on-3, and I got involved, and Stryker got involved, and I got the hot tag, and I naturally scored the pin.
Yep.
And he hasn't turned back since
Yeah,
then. That was his last. It was his last day as a redeeming.
That's his signature
how does
now?
it feel? How does it feel carrying somebody like Mike Verna?
It's heavy.
His back must hurt. Let me tell you.
But he did get the victory.
And just to answer the question quick, Matt Stryker is one of the most unselfish people because when you're Matt Stryker, you could come in, you have to do anything. You could tell him exactly what you're going to do, and he'll do it. He'll actually say, all right, what's the story, what's the circumstances of the match, and how to better get you from that match to where you're going next. He's gold at doing that. He's brilliant.
Very down to earth, fellow. I met him before. He's very down to earth.
It's funny
very
because
cool.
Before that match, the first time I met Matt was like a couple of days before we were training.
And he says, I may show up, I may not.
He may have met. So we were deciding if he was going to be in the match or not. But ever since that day, me and him have an ongoing joke. I call him Uncle Matt.
Right.
Uncle Matt, because ever since that one moment that we've been together, every single company in New York City that brings him in and I'm involved, he's always got my back. And it's just funny because that's the route we go. Whenever he's in, he's Zio Mateo, as he calls himself. Uncle Matt.
Well, let's talk about the stables that you've been a part of. You are a part of Mega Muscles, and then that correlates into the O team.
Yes, sir. Psycho Circus this Saturday.
I know Big O isn't here, but can you explain how did the O team form?
The O team form. Okay, well,
We got to do Mega Muscle first.
Mega Muscle is definitely an extension of the O team. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the way Mega Muscle formed, just to backtrack, is
my brilliance.
When he was a good person, PJ Stackpole. Off the record, Big O was my first friend in the business. Period.
Right.
I had met Big O at Nassau Coliseum when the Z True Long Island story started, and he was nothing but humble. I mean, fans were attacking this guy like he was the champion.
Right.
He was a big deal. And about a week or two later, I started NYWC, and a guy who was so popular at that time, he was so humble. He
took you under his bicep.
Took me under his bicep, not his lat wing, and ever since then we've been so close. He's been my first friend in the business. He's been nothing but good to me. And when FBW Troy or PJ for that matter came to me and said, "Well, thinking about tagging you," this is the first time I've ever been in a tag team. I've always been a singles guy. He said, "Who do you have in mind?" I said, "Well, if you want something that's really going to make people's head turn, bring in the Big O."
Right.
And from there, I mean, the one thing that a lot of people say about me and Big O is we may not be the Young Bucks, we may not be
You're not the Rockers.
We may not be the Rockers, we may not be your traditional tag team, but
we could be the Road Warriors.
We could be the Road Warriors. That's fine. In fact, Big O used to do
a
the
big
Doomsday
rough
Device,
and tumble.
but they say that we're one of the most dominating presence. So when we step through the curtain, a lot of people invest into that presence of two
big bros,
guys who genuinely care about each other. You know,
if I see you guys, I'd be like, oh, I don't know who they're gonna fight, but they're gonna destroy them, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I mean, that could end well.
And
we were the first 5-bar wrestling tag team champions, which is cool. That's something that we definitely tip our cap about. And in regards to the O team, I mean, the thing about the NYWC is that Big O's been on the top for a long time, and Stockade's been in the company for forever. He's probably the cornerstone of NYWC, Stockade. Whether his views on the company or how he acts is very questionable, he's the cornerstone.
Yeah.
And he dethroned Big O cleanly. 1, 2, 3 in the ring, no interference, and more or less, I mean, if someone was going to dethrone the big guy, it had to be another big guy. And Stockade has been very known to have a lot of goons, for a lack of a better term, behind him.
Right.
Stockade knows how to get his friends very close and take over.
He's a cult leader.
He's a cult leader, and he put Big O by himself. So it's kind of like
called in the reinforcements.
It's kind of like he called him for the Avengers, and that was it. I mean,
Let's do a quick shout out to the A-listers, the actual best faction.
Oh
in
God!
NYWC.
You got Lucera, you got Jesse Vin, you got Talon, you got myself, you got Big O. Basically, it's Muscle Beach versus the Arkham Asylum. That's the way I like to put it.
Right. That's how I kind of.
That's the best way
I like
to put it.
that. That's why.
We got a caller, but we gonna yeah, let's take the caller. Yeah, we're gonna take the caller.
Oh boy,
we're gonna go to commercial. We talking square business. What up?
Hey, what's up, bro? This is Ito from Staten Island.
What's going on, brother? Question for Verna?
Not much. Yo, let me ask you something. I was at the event over in Brooklyn a couple weeks ago over in Bensonhurst, and one of the guys got arrested. Was that real or was that part of the show?
That is an ongoing. He was not part of the show. Is the short answer no? But for the sake of all parties involved, I'd rather not get into details. But he was not on the show, obviously.
Yeah, no, I know that. But was it real? Were like real cops? Like, was that real or was that all fake?
The cops, the cops were real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, so he really got arrested.
Again, it's not my place to discuss what happened beyond that. But I'll just say he didn't work for us.
Yeah.
The cops were real, and whatever happened is obviously between them. But thanks for coming.
Thank you, Vito. Thank you, Vito.
Thank you for your question, brother. We're going to take a commercial break real quick. We're going to be back with PJ Stackpole and Mike Verna on Square Business Radio on WCWPsports.org. 516-299-2790. You can guess this theme. You will get paid. Call. We're gonna ask a couple more questions and then you plug in.
Maybe a new
Gotcha.
plug in your
you plug in your dates, or you want to do it at the end? Because the last question I want to ask is the Psycho. We're gonna go back over Psycho Circus.
Yeah, let's. Well, that's you got. Friday we got.
Plug Alvin's match.
Yeah, plug Alvin's match. We have Friday FSW and then we got NYWC the next day. So you guys yeah, we'll go with that.
Do it quick.
Yeah.
But then plug your FSW. And then
we can do it at the end. Whatever.
All I want to make sure is that the last question that comes out of my mouth is Psycho.
Hell yeah.
And then after that, you put your Instagram information, Facebook, all that stuff out.
We'll do that. We'll do 2 more segments. We'll take this to 8:30 because we've had so many callers and it's kind of
That's true. We have had a lot of calls.
Yes, which is great. I mean, that's awesome. Thanks for bringing that.
No problem. Like I said, one guy clearly had nothing better to do, but the rest of them were pretty cool.
Yeah, I usually don't deal with stuff like that. So it was tough.
It's good.
Hey, listen.
Publicity.
Like I said, man, that's it. They're on. That means
Square
you can do
Business
it.
Radio.
No one say about
We are back. Square Business Radio is in effect. We got Mike Verna, PJ Stackpole in the building. Y'all good so far?
Yeah, it's a great time.
We've been talking and talking. DJ Austin, you good?
Nah, I ain't good, man.
What's wrong with you?
He wants a pizza.
Yo, Austin could have been DJ Austin could have been rich, y'all, because he knew everything. If you call in 516-299-2790, he'll probably give you the cheat code to get paid, man. I'm trying to give away some cash, man.
Just don't.
I let your boy, man.
I ain't got the answers. Don't hit my Instagram up asking for the answers. I ain't gonna look at my phone. I don't look at my phone when you're on the air,
No
y'all.
one claims his money. I'm taking it. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to probably.
He
give
gonna
it to
say
PJ
he gonna say
Stackpole.
Verna on Sosa, and then he gonna take that bread. That's what that's it.
Well, let's go back to some more history. Let's see if you remember this date. This is your life, Mike Verna.
Oh God.
Give him the theme music.
Sweeter than swatting and voodoo.
June 7th, 2014.
I know all about that date.
What was that date, sir?
That was Legends Never Die 1. That was the first time I've ever won a title in the business.
Yep. How did you feel obtaining that title?
People ask me this every single time I do a show like this, or even when I talk regularly, they say, what is your best moment in the career? And I would say that would have to be hands down. I mean, you really can't explain what it was like unless you were there. And that goes from the fans' perspective and the people in the ring and the boys in the back. I mean, place was electric. I was very lucky that the show itself was in my hometown.
Right.
Talon.
One of the best places to get a belt at your hometown.
Bad to say, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if only Bret Hart could have done that too, but we won't get into that.
Boom, 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 boom.
Got like 3 cheers. Dan is gonna call me tonight. It's like, yo,
taking bad shots today.
You are done here, sir. Hand in your press pass now.
And Talon, who at the time was a very, very over heel in regards to being hated. So the stage was perfect. It was perfect storytelling. You had the brand new guy.
Perfect storm. It was just the perfect
you had
storm.
someone who was new in the business, a fresh face that really, like I said, the fans attached to off the bat, which was really good. It translated into my hometown, which obviously there was a lot of friends and family there.
It's for the title in the main event.
For the title.
title.
I mean, there was about 500 people there, and I'm going to tell you right now, off the record, I don't know 500 people like that. So whatever it was, the build for the story brought a lot of people in there. And not to mention, you had a lot of people on that card. Chavo Guerrero Sr., Hoovy.
Blue Demon.
The list goes on. It was a big, big show. And to have the opportunity to main event that against someone who I've danced with for quite some time now in Talon, it was... we went about 35 minutes. I mean, when every false finish, every time he might have beat me, every time I might have beat him, the place was just getting louder and louder and louder. And what's funny is if you look at the footage, you can actually see the guardrails getting closer and closer to the ring as we went deeper into the match because it was getting more and more, testy, as for lack of a better word, more and more drama unfolding, and it was something special.
Just a quick sidebar. You saying that the guardrails were getting closer and closer to the ring, like have you? You haven't even been to Beyond yet.
No, I haven't been to Beyond yet. No, I haven't had the opportunity
Well, I'm
yet.
starting to see a surge of more wrestling companies going without guardrails, and that it doesn't
Very
have
unwise.
It doesn't have that boundary, and I don't like that at all. And people
Very
are actually
unwise.
so close to the ring
can touch it.
to where they could sit there and slap the ring when
that's
you win.
crazy.
I mean, it gives the fan an actual. You know what I'm saying? You much more closer than you've ever been. But I don't like that.
The beautiful thing about Beyond Wrestling is that it is considered one of the most interactive companies out there. So the fact that they're doing that is great. But keep in mind, Beyond has never ran out of New York City. So in New York City, you 100% need guardrails.
That guardrail is there for the protection of the performers and for the audience. So
There's a lot of times that
giving me anxiety just thinking about a show without a guardrail.
People do dives. People do spots where they throw people into the guardrail. I mean, fans get hurt. Bottom line, fans get hurt. I mean, if those guardrails aren't there, I mean, if you're in a really raunchy, really hardcore fan base, ECW type.
I was about to say that. If this was ECW,
they would love it. They would catch him.
I got a boot to my eye. Great time. This is a sensitive era we live in.
Yeah,
you
very
can't
much.
do that kind of stuff.
Very
Well,
much.
just briefly on that, when we won the strap in Dynasty, a fan actually jumped the guardrail, got into the ring, and tried to physically attack us.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
Genuine heat right there. Like
so
I
he
said,
was
the
he
heat
was
there.
clearly intoxicated. But so and that was with a guardrail.
Yeah,
imagine
without
if
a
it
guardrail.
wasn't
He was in there already.
So
That is for sure.
It's ridiculous, man.
That's crazy.
I mean, shout out to Beyond and all the other interactive
word.
wrestling promotions, but I'm starting to see that. And when we go to these events, I can't be amongst that crowd. I cannot be like surrounded.
You're
by
a journalist.
lot of people.
You need your section.
I need my section, please. But we're gonna get back into more history. You had the opportunity to share the ring. Well, before I get into that question, I keep thinking of it. I don't know why I say nothing yet. When you guys were beefing, the second time you won the FSW title, right?
I threw him off the ladder.
You knocked his ass. Excuse my language. You knocked him off the ladder. You took quite a bump. That was a fall.
Yes.
That ladder was 20 feet tall? Like,
wait,
legit.
you were like that high on the ladder?
He was
when you
like
got
all the way up there.
Showing the videos on his phone.
He was all the way up there. And it was like, when I looked at him, when he first hit you, he was like, I'm not about to take this bump. And then he was like, fuck, I'm about to take it.
They presented it to me, and I said, you're uneasy at first, obviously. There's no good way to fall off a ladder.
Right.
No matter how trained you are.
And that's the one thing people have to understand. I mean, there is no way to fake falling off
But the fact
a
that
ladder.
you had this match and the finish of the match was the non-wrestler and you wasn't even involved with any of the actual wrestlers, that was, for me, a big deal.
Right.
And I always, when the bad guy dies in the movie, he always falls off.
Right.
I think.
But I've only seen
it was appropriate.
ladder bumps like that from you and Jeff Hardy. No, I'm not even lying. Like I see ECW ladder matches at November to Remember. The ladders wasn't even that tall.
Well, I was
all
stupid.
The way up there.
It was just stupid. It was
and it was
stupid
like,
to do, but
like legit. You
it
put
felt
it in
right
slow
at the
motion,
moment.
like you like.
We've done that. We've done that on the phone. We've done it. It's just
like that.
It had to be done. Listen, I had put those fans through a lot for a long time, and they had to see.
Yeah, it's well deserved. It's deserved.
And that shows how much you care about
something.
the brand and how much you care about the character. And
Absolutely.
What you there to do is to make the fans go. Ooh,
Salute PJ Stackpole for that bump, man.
That was a bump.
And then they poured beer on me at the behest of my
got,
wrestler. That was the least of my problems.
He got the walk of shame. I really,
that was
like
terrible.
you said, he put the
you
fans
had to
through
give
a lot.
them something.
You had to give him some. He got the walk of shame. He got the walk of shame.
Wow.
But that just shows you what beautiful storytelling can happen in professional wrestling. That if a manager, it all starts, he turns on me, and then we have this long ongoing saga of him just being evil, getting my family involved, hurting my friends, hurting me, doing this, that, getting me suspended, all that stuff.
Right.
And it culminates to that.
And if you don't give it at the end, that's the big. If you don't give it to them at the end, it's going to be hard to get them to invest in anything.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing about that match is all the people involved. We talk about unselfishness in the business and people being selfish. They knew that moment needed to be the last thing those fans see because that's the culmination of the story. The story was me not necessarily me just chasing the belt, but me dethroning, Ian, who was associated with him, and that was where the heat was. The heat was with me and him.
You know, fatal 4-way tables, ladders, and chairs match.
Hell of a match.
It was very fun.
But what I see with people like you, people like Big O, people like Stackpole, you guys still have the old school type of mentality. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing a lot of wrestlers now. Like I spoke with actually the A-listers about this. Like a lot of wrestlers now are finding cheap heat by spitting on people, mushing people, knocking their hats off.
If you have to do that, you're not very good.
He couldn't say it better. He couldn't say it better myself.
If you have to do that, you're not very good.
Couldn't say it better myself.
I love me some A-listers, by the way, my clients.
Right, and we had I spoke to them about it, and they feel the same way. They didn't say what you said so bluntly, but they gave their
sum it up in so few words.
Alvin's a perfect example of that. Alvin can go out there with his robe on, and he won't degrade himself. He'll make his character look. It's as silly as falling in love with Sonny Kiss just to get that genuine emotion behind him. And that's a beautiful thing.
Everybody was like speechless. You had people laughing.
That was
rolling on the
great.
floor.
That was great.
And that's what it's all about.
I wasn't expecting that. That was
like
great,
you said,
though.
the spitting, the mushing. There are certain characters that works with. Don't get me wrong. And
spitting?
Not spitting per se, but I mean, they're
raunchy, maybe
the
low
raunchiness.
levels.
The raunchiness.
First of all, spitting on a fan is unacceptable.
Because
if they did it to me or us, that would be a whole
can't spit
nother
on a
thing.
fan. But to spit on a wrestler, it has its moments. It's a big deal. It's a big deal to see something like that. But like you said, the genuine heat is really what this business is all about. And if you can get genuine heat without spitting
big part
or
of
mushing,
that I think has to do with also the heels. They want, everyone wants a 5-star match.
Yeah.
But if you're a heel, sometimes I think it's to your benefit to keep the match slow, keep it unexciting, and just really every time it gets exciting, bring it down again.
Tell the story way better.
It's funny. It's funny that you mentioned
a dastardly person.
Because I would say 2.5 years in the business, I'm the furthest thing from a veteran. But thankfully, I've had a lot of experience thus far in these 2.5 years that a lot of younger guys do ask me for advice and stuff like that. And if I do watch one of their matches and they're considered to be a heel and they're going up there doing brain busters and doing stuff from the top rope, the first thing I come back, I'll say, everything looked crisp, but that was one of the worst heel performances I've ever seen.
Right.
Because you don't get heat that way.
Right.
You just don't get heat that way, and like I said, you could still be a heel without spitting or mushing or cursing.
I don't even like when heels
that.
curse.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
What's the?
You don't need it. Now, don't get me wrong. If you can't curse on WWE TV, why would you curse on the indie levels?
Right.
That's
Everything's
not,
an audition.
But like you said,
well,
cursing and the raunchiness do bode well with some wrestlers. Because I
think you need some of it.
The
don't get me
only
wrong.
wrestler I've seen that curse and it worked was the franchise Shane Douglas. That was the only person.
Yes, and also it's if if everyone's cursing, it's nothing.
Right.
But if that one guy for that one promo drops a bomb, you go, oh,
he needs
right.
it.
But not
That's
even
why Roxina was so good.
Not even. I was about to say something about that too because it's not only heels. I hate when The Rock curses because that tells me he doesn't have that same flair he once used to have.
Yeah, I know
when
what
he
you
start going
mean.
to the baby back B words and all of that, I'm like, yo, all right, come on, dog. Because when he first became The Rock, he didn't have to use none of that language, and he had everybody just laughing. And he had that flair. That's what he wanted
because
to do.
I think he's smart enough now to know that that's what the fans want now because they've been so deprived of language that for so time that now He can do what he wants.
Okay,
of course, he can do what he wants.
So you saying that's
it's
like
smart. I agree. I don't necessarily.
It's a
disagree
change
with
of pace.
You.
It's a change
I
of
know
pace.
why he's doing it because
but-
he can get away with it, and the fans don't hear as much of it.
Yeah, he couldn't even. I mean, but like even when The Rock went heel,
I loved him as.
I loved it.
Yeah, I like the Hollywood Rock.
There's
No
there
Way Out
is
2003. I
oh my
still
God,
watch
I
that
love
entry.
that.
You said before about
There's
him
nothing that
entertaining and
anything he could have said. That was
entrance
that was
I
fire.
still to this
Look
day
at the tongue. Look at the tongue.
I still watch that entrance to this day, and you just hear Jim Ross says, "Look at the saunter."
Jim Ross is the most fickle commentator. He'll love you for years. You do one thing, and it's like, look at this guy again. He's dastardly. He's so fickle.
One thing I love about JR though, man, the rattlesnake. Every time he says that, the rattlesnake, the rattlesnake. That's no matter what happens.
Speaking of WWE alumni, you had the opportunity to share the ring with X-Pac and
Big Daddy Cool,
Kevin Nash. How did you manage to get that together? Because the event before, nobody never took me off guard like you guys did. The event prior to when you announced that Kevin Nash was going to be there, and you put on the NWO shirt, and you was hurt, and you was throwing up Wolfpack. I was sitting at the table like,
what?
And then I had the camera in TJ's face, and TJ was like. So it was crazy. So how did you?
Bomb.
Well, yeah.
I did not nobody expected that. How did you guys pull that together?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, obviously it starts from behind the scenes. Let's be realistic over there.
Of course.
And
did the people want to see Kevin Nash?
I mean, of course.
So
they
we
did.
brought him in.
That's the beauty of 5-bar wrestling. 5-bar wrestling is to me right now the only company that can give you the top premier indie talent in the New York City. I mean, the New York area and outside, and also bring in stars that can also better the card.
That you don't expect. Because I would have never thought y'all get Kenny Omega right now.
Yeah, and it's funny because you bring that moment up. The last show I was at, I asked Troy. I said, Troy, I need that Boiling Point DVD.
Right.
The match itself might have not been the best match in the world. It was like a hardcore match.
Yeah, it was at Boiling Point. Yep.
I said, I need that promo. Yep. I've never seen that place, that building shake like I did when I announced
it was definitely
I needed
dope.
that. I needed that video, and it was a great experience. I mean, X-Pac is so down to earth, and he's one of the I wouldn't say very few guys, but he's one of those guys that will go out of his way and kind of critique and kind of give you advice and tell you what route to go and what route not to go, and he'll tell you to protect yourself, all that stuff. And a lot of guys don't. It's not that they don't look to do that for you, but he makes it his business to say, don't do that. We're gonna have him in the palm of our hands. Let's take it easy.
It's good to hear that from a vet, though.
Yeah, very much so.
You know what I mean? You need all the advice you can get from a vet. And X-Pac's been in
everywhere.
You know what I'm saying?
Everywhere.
Don't stop.
And believe it or not, even though Nash didn't wrestle, he went out of his way to make that spot work. He went out of his way to say, I'm here. I'm going to give these people what he wants. He got on the mic. He was very funny. He was very nice. And same thing with him. He may have not been so – I mean, people bombarded him in the locker room, so he probably didn't have that much time to basically chat with you like X-Pac did. But he was more than giving too. He was great.
I mean, but at the same time, though, like he did his job. I mean, regardless if he wrestled or not. I mean, people did want to see him wrestle. But the fact that you see him – and you paid how much you paid for these tickets? Like $25, $30. Just because he's in a building, you seen him. That's you right here. Like I'm taking a picture out. Boom,
that's Kevin Nash. That's Kevin
Nash.
He
did autographs and he sold.
Yeah,
well, you got to pay for those. But I'm saying,
I mean, he was there, and he was more than giving. I feel like he was more than giving.
If you don't pay any other event to go see him, first off, you wouldn't have been that close. Second, it wouldn't have been that much money. Be happy.
Right.
Come on.
And I appreciate you actually looking at it like that because people think we can just work magic. And wave a magic wand and these guys
bread.
come in.
That's
and
bread you gotta
come
pay
in for reasonable prices.
Yeah,
and
you
do
know
exactly what you ask them to do.
That's
It don't
bread.
work that way.
No.
Everything's a negotiation. And what you see oftentimes
you gotta be happy. You gotta count. I look at it. You gotta count your blessings. I don't care if it's big, small. I don't care if you're a wrestling fan, kayfabe, no kayfabe, whatever. You gotta look at it like he's in your face right now. What else can you say?
And you got 2 for 1. You came to see Nash.
And I wasn't even expecting X-Pac. I wasn't even expecting him.
So I think everyone got their money's worth that night.
I'm saying so. Yeah, you gotta what?
Keep going. Whatever, man. We're going to pay some bills real quick. We got PJ Stackpole and Mike Verna in the building.
Get juicy.
Oh, I know this theme.
Who's theme?
Yes, you do.
Sounded like.
This is Square Business Radio, only on WCWPsports.org. If you think about it too much, you're gonna say it.
Yeah, cause this June, what?
And a 9-9.
It's a 9-9.
You got so many
Too close,
games out
Yeah, 'cause let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something, brother. Someone just texted me, said he was listening and tried to call in, but it wasn't working.
Pick up the phone and hang it back up.
Yeah, I couldn't. Oh, that's new. I didn't see that.
Matters now. We got some.
All right. Wait, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to it. See if
Top 5 news in the world of heavy metal. Interviews with new I mean exactly what they want.
All right, you let them know to call back.
Explosion noise.
I'm telling you, they ain't going to the right website.
With bacon.
WCWPsports.org. There's
Yeah.
the call.
Yeah,
Tell me, hold on.
Hey, how you doing? We're in a break right now. We'll be coming back in about 30 seconds. Can you hold?
Finally, a metal show on the island that listens to their audience. Unless they want to hear other things.
Sounds like a normal voice.
No.
Never know.
He said, "Okay, can you please hold?"
Yeah, sure.
Oh no, I'm not hanging right now.
Tell my brother I hate your guts.
Oh my God, I should call. How you doing? This is Ted from Nebraska. They took her down.
So y'all feel me on what I was saying earlier about people who keep coming to me asking me, yo, I got this idea, that idea, or was I doing too much?
Do you realize that they do that? Fans do that to us about angles.
Oh, for real?
Fans will
commentators. Can we ref? Like it's not that easy.
Not only that, but fans will sit there and they'll say, "Why did this happen?" What do you mean, why does it? Wait till the story unfolds. Don't sit there and critique what just happened in front of your eyes. Why don't you wait? Wrestling's a story. Remember, we were talking about Katie Vick the other day. I don't want to say that.
This is Square Business Radio.
This is Square Business Radio. It's your boy Social DiBiase. I got Mike Verna, the man of steel.
Boom.
TJ Stackpole.
Boom.
The manager of steel.
We are back. So we've been talking a lot, man. We've been going back and forth.
It's been a good time. It's been a good time.
Thank you.
This is where it's at. Square Biz Radio is really where it's at for wrestling. Let me tell you.
That's what's up. Yo, we got a call. You talking Square Business? What up?
What's up?
What's going on? What's your name, brother?
Devin from Mill Base in Brooklyn.
What's going on, Devin? You got a question for Verna?
Yeah, what's up, Mike?
Oh, Dev, what's up, bro?
What's going on, kid?
How are you? Good.
Good. No, I'm just listening. I want to hear you guys' opinions on some things.
Sure.
Basically, everyone's arguing like we should try to go back to it.
Your phone
breaking up a little bit.
Repeat the question.
People debating these days if WWE should go back to like Attitude Era style, very racy, sexy, crazy shit like that, or if it's very family friendly these days. What do you guys? What's your opinions on what you think they should do to kind of improve the product?
Well, I don't think that going back to being raunchy is necessarily the answer. I think they could treat the subject matter a little bit more seriously. I think that 3 hours is a little bit too much for everybody, and everything seems to be a joke, and it's hard to invest. I'd like to see the product change in its presentation and format, because pretty much we've had the exact same style of show, exact same format, exact same presentation for now going on 20 years, and I think we're at the end of that rope. And I think, I think they need to start building characters, building storylines, focusing, make it more mature and not so cartoon, because I feel like I'm watching a cartoon.
Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to, is just make it more mature rather than making it more rated R. Because when you have a storyline that people could invest themselves into and it's not so surrounded by unicorn horns and stuff like that, you could pretty much attach to it. I know the Attitude Era is our era. That's the era we grew up in. And what made the Attitude Era was just basically not really pushing the envelope in regards to the sex and everything like that.
It was different from what had come before.
It's just more or less making the storylines kind of have no limits. That's the way I feel like it. Do you guys agree?
I agree.
Where kind of, you can go out there and you can kind of curse, you can kind of do crazy, but it meant something.
And it was done more seriously. It
wasn't. Jack Gallo said something very important. He said in the Attitude Era, the best thing I ever heard out of all the arguing, should it go back, whatever. The answer he gave me, I said, what's going to happen with the Attitude Era? He said, it could never be the Attitude Era again, because the Attitude Era, everybody mattered.
Yeah,
that was dope. That was the dopest thing I heard.
Yes,
because we watched people like
the lowest guy on the card was Crash Holly, and everyone was interested in that, and then it was awesome.
We had, not to interrupt you, we actually had Vince Russo at one of the FSW shows last year, and he did a pre-show seminar. And he went out there and he said that exact same thing. He said the biggest thing about the Attitude Era was he was able to, and his team was able to write about every single person. Goldust, Crash Holly, the Headbangers, they all had something. And a guy like Crash Holly would go out there and get the biggest pop of the night. Meanwhile, Stone Cold Steve Austin was out there main eventing the show.
Right, exactly.
So that's really what it comes down to. You know, WWE right now may have too much of a mix of writers and not enough of like
a direction.
A direction, exactly. That's a good way to put it. Not enough of a direction.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. But we gonna get back. Thank you for your question, by the way.
Thank you, Dev. Yeah,
appreciate it. We were talking about meeting people, and you've met two very intricate legends in the sport of professional wrestling. The first one we gonna go with Kurt Angle. How was it meeting Kurt? That's my
that's my dream match.
You actually met Kurt Angle?
I met Kurt Angle, and we went to a Poughkeepsie TNA show. Me, Joel, and a couple other guys. We went about like last year or so. When Joel's very good friends with Samoa Joe, so Samoa Joe, they were in New York. Samoa Joe extended the invite, so we went down there. After the show, we went backstage, and unfortunately, Kurt was kind of in a rush. He had to get back. I think this was during the time when he was kind of banged up.
Right.
And
he was going through his little
he was going through his little personal issues. But he took his time to take pictures. Didn't really have a good chance to have a conversation with him, which I wish I could have, because to me, that alive right now, that's who I would probably emulate in the ring the most.
Right.
That's who I really emulate in the ring the most. But out of everyone, the person that I've met and I've had the privilege to really sit down and I tell everyone all the time, if you get this opportunity to do any kind of extra work for WWE, you get a free seminar from William Regal if he's there.
Right.
And William Regal is, I mean, I can't even talk highly about the guy anymore. I mean, he lets you know exactly what they want from you. And that's the best thing that you can get. You know, he can look at you, pick you apart, tell you exactly what to fix from your wrestling standpoint, from your look standpoint, from your promo standpoint, and he can really help you get to the next level with that, and that's a big deal.
We got a caller. You want to take that call, Mike?
Yeah, sure.
All right, no problem. You talking square business. What up?
Hello?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yo, this is Alex from Brooklyn.
What's up, Alex?
You got the Verna and PJ there?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Is this the Docomania?
This is Docomania.
What you going to do, Doc?
Nothing. I want to know, is it true that PJ Stackpole is the love child of Lex Luthor, Kingpin, and Mr. Clean?
You forgot Dana White.
How can three people
You forgot
have
Dana
one
White.
child?
It's magic. And also, on the
He's a
NYWC
doctor.
website, it lists Mike Verna at 6 feet tall.
Oh, stop.
We heard enough.
Lips do beautiful thing.
Yeah, I love you guys. Talk to you later.
Love you too.
Appreciate the call, man. Thanks, man.
Well,
that's Dr. Arroyo. Special shout out to him, one of the best wrestling doctors in New York City right now.
That's what's
right.
I think I see him all the time at FBW. Anyway.
Yeah, he's there.
They always in the back.
He's the
Yeah,
man.
see
He's
him.
the man. He'll take care of you and tell you if you had a good match or not.
Yeah. But you met Kurt Angle, who is a legend. We gonna talk about another legend that you guys both met once in your lives and had the pleasure of standing next to and touching. We're talking about Maven. You guys met Maven.
Oh my God!
How
You're good, so you are good, my friend.
How did you get to meet the man at the real one in 21?
I'm gonna let him tell this story because I don't want to go off
the best of my recollection, and it's somewhat murky. We stumble out of some bar or club. It's very early in the morning,
and very early in my career
and
too.
Someone's kind of coming at us, and I'm looking at him. And bald people can identify other bald people very quickly. And I'm looking at him, and I said, I think that's Maven. So I turned to Mike. I said, Mike, is that Maven? And we're looking at him, and we're looking at him, and we're looking at him. And so I think we finally just did one of the, Maven?
And he turned around.
Maven? And he turned
Tom
around.
Bosley!
And we were like, yo, man, he's a bouncer at a club, I guess, at the time.
Yeah,
what he was doing.
And really quick to touch on Maven, he's another class act of a guy.
He is. That's the real one in 21.
He's another class act. You know,
That's dope.
There was a brief period of time where I was in touch with Maven a lot.
When he eliminated The Undertaker at Mania, he was a made man after that.
That was one of the funniest stories he said. We briefly, like I said, we were talking real life stuff. And like I said, I was in a moment where I was actually texting him pretty consistently, trying to get him involved or maybe doing a seminar or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And
get all that advice.
Yeah, exactly.
The business gave him a bad taste, or
a little bit. You know, I mean, Brian Myers was actually able to get him back involved a little bit, which is awesome because Brian's the type of guy that could really relate to good guys in the business. You know, Brian is a good guy in the business, and he reaches out and makes sure that every single good guy in the business, good guy, gets their worth, gets their name out there, gets the opportunity for people really to see how great they were. And Maven was one of those guys. And the one thing he did tell me, you know, we had mentioned the Undertaker thing, and he pointed right to his bald head, and there's the scar. That chair shot left a permanent scar on him. But Maven's a good dude.
He's
Maven
got
is the
something
man.
to carry around. Like, yep, Undertaker.
Oh, that's it, Undertaker. That's it. Taker taught me a lesson.
Verna
that night.
also kicked John Cena out of the Barclays Center. If you saw that,
We haven't seen him there since.
Oh man, I wish I'd have seen that live.
Yeah,
that
you
was
know
a
what,
good one.
real
We'll
quick,
show you it when we're
one of the best stories about that is we did the segment with Cena, and it was pre-tape. So I had the ability to kind of run to where we did the shot to a little special live viewing section where the talent was able to walk out. And I saw, we're in Brooklyn, which is obviously the hometown, and most of the New York wrestling fans, luckily they know who I am at this point. They were out there, and as soon as the segment came on and me and the other security walked on, oh, God.
Oh, boy. Sorry, John.
Someone had to do it. The place popped. I mean, I'm not talking about an eruption, but you can hear the volume of the area, the arena actually raised when I walked onto the stage.
Yeah.
And I walked onto the screen, and the best part was leaving the Barclays Center that night. There was all the fans, the independent fans that they were calling my name. So that was a cool moment too. That was a really cool moment. And John Cena, great guy.
Yep.
Great guy. Not more I can say about that.
We all know.
Hey, I'm not gonna.
Oh, this is what I meant to ask you,
Please do.
and I went way past it. Just real quick before we close up out here. But you have 2 moves. And one of your moves.
Only 2?
One of your.
I really am John Cena.
The first. No. The 2 finishers. One of your finishers. I'm not going. You have 3 actually, but I'm not going to say one of them. But one of them is the Texas Cloverleaf. Shout out to Dean Malenko, the man
Yes,
that thousand hoes.
Stinko.
And but you have a move that. It's his favorite wrestler of all time.
I got to hit the sky high.
You can put Stone Cold and D-Lo on the room. He gonna run a D-Lo.
Better recognize.
So how did out of all the moves to pick?
Well, let's
coming from the Texas Cloverleaf.
I take credit for the Cloverleaf.
The Cloverleaf was a move that, like I said, a lot of people compared me to Malenko, to Voldemort.
Right.
Guys like Kurt
Goodness
Angle.
gracious.
So
Compared to everybody.
when you compare to that guy and you don't really have a collegiate background in wrestling, you can't necessarily. I mean, you can call yourself technical, but you can't call yourself a mat technician.
Right.
Not starting out. Because even though I am very strong, there's not a lot of moves you can do to everybody.
Right.
So one of the first things I came up with was the sky high. For the most part, a lot of people, you can give it to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Assuming that they can jump.
And Sky High Superman.
Yeah, it kind of worked. You know, I kind of been modifying it a little bit. I haven't been sitting out with it, but I'm going to go back to the old way of sitting out and making it look good.
A nice crisp sky high is one of the best finishes.
When it's well
When it's
delivered,
well
it's
done.
unbelievable.
Like how D-Lo used to do it like
Up
a guy.
and down.
Right
I
from
mean,
your armpits.
the only problem I have with it now, is that a lot of guys now use it as a signature rather than a finish.
And then they
someone
set it
off
out
the rose.
with the hand on the chest, and then they do
Yeah, so it's a little bit oversaturated
Yeah.
now, but the best thing about the Sky High, and the reason why I fight the battle with myself if I should change it or not, is that when I do hit that move, people either think it's over or it is over.
Right.
So for that matter, the move itself is established, and my job is done with that. Same people say about the attitude adjustment or stuff like that. May not be the biggest move, but they know if it's hit, it could be over. And the Cloverleaf, I just think, is a move that, if executed properly, is a pretty.
Nobody doesn't even do
No
it.
one does.
It takes a lot of strength to do a
hurt,
Texas Cloverleaf.
And if you get yourself in a position where your match can conceivably end on a submission or on a pinfall,
Right.
it just makes the matches that much more
Yeah.
drama.
You said I got 3 finishes. What was my other one?
I know what you're
Voldemort's
thinking
finisher.
of, yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay.
I am against it every time he uses it because I said the comparisons are already there. Why
Right.
highlight them?
Yeah,
Right.
I guess so. I haven't used it as much as I used to because of that. People, I've gotten chance when I've left New York and I've wrestled elsewhere. I've gotten chance when I've locked it in. So I said,
Right.
"Well, that's it. That'll be it.
Yeah.
Let's
You ain't
switch it
getting-
back."
Ladies and gentlemen, he ain't getting no Daniel Bryan chance.
No,
if
no,
you-
sir, no, sir. It ain't the labella lock.
That's not gonna happen, right?
But see, I
want to ask you a question. You touched on you're not a big John Cena fan.
I don't want to talk about that right now.
Well, reason why
I'm not.
reason why
No, I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
listen,
not.
no one really is, and like I said, I definitely
like
was
John
not.
Cena.
But what I was going to ask you is, being that I'm very comparable to John Cena, do I separate myself from him, or do you? I appreciate that.
If you do the Sky High,
I'm sold, right? I'm
Texas
sold.
Cloverleaf,
look,
Yeah.
Voldemort's finisher.
You know what it is? Because like I said, the one thing I do pride myself on is I try to give the fans something different in my match every single time.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie though. Now that he's gone, I
You miss
have
him,
a much
right?
bigger respect for him.
Yeah.
I see why he is held to such a high regard.
He's one of the only guys on the roster now that can genuinely
in
give
this
you emotion.
generation.
that can give you emotion.
Whether you love him or hate him, you're interested in his matches.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
I think that's a big deal.
Well, that you're absolutely right about
But
that.
it's terrible that every heel hits the Great Wall of John Cena and then just disappears.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right. I mean, I have my thing with John Cena. You know, I mean, I just want to see the old. If I had to say anything I would like about John Cena, I want to see the old John Cena.
I think everyone does. I think that's what it's at now.
And like you said about the whole heel situation, I think your situation is way different. Like I want to see you going, I want to see you going heel because of your name. But John Cena needs to go heel.
Yeah.
It's never gonna happen.
I disagree.
It's never gonna happen. I think. Well, I mean, for me. Not for business.
It would be 10 times more entertaining.
For me, he needs to go. It's not going to happen, but for me, he needs to go heel. For me to be like John Cena, like all I want to see, I got this vision in my head of a kid with a Coke cup or something. He just slap it out of his hand. I was like, I love you, John Cena.
You can't see that.
The kids love him now, and the adults hate him. If he switches, the kids are going to hate him, and the adults are going to love him.
Yeah,
so you're still going to have a mix.
that's not going to. Okay. Going back to The Rock again. When The Rock turned heel, you couldn't even not like The Rock. He could talk about your mom. I don't guess whatever.
That's it.
I see why. I know why.
How about when
did.
Kurt? Your boy Kurt. When
kind of same thing.
I'm not a fan of Jesus Christ. He hated black people.
If I
You
could
know,
go back in time, put one behind the ankle, I could be Martin Luther King.
And whatever. So like,
but
that's what we. I don't care.
Still,
do what you got to do.
I'll see why you say that. Your opinion matters, or mine. It's all right. It's your opinion.
These questions just keep popping up in my head.
Please do. That's what I like.
But FBW's Too Sweet. You kind of scared me. And I don't know if it was kayfabe or not.
Was it Too Sweet or was it the show after Too Sweet?
No, I thought that was.
I think it was at Too Sweet. No. It was after.
It was Nightmare.
Nightmare Avenue
Nightmare.
Where he hurt your neck. What happened? Because I kept asking everybody.
That was.
I even asked Stockade and them how were you?
Was that real?
When I seen Shane go in the ring, Shane is usually in the background. So when I seen Shane go,
I think that's the brilliance.
When I seen Shane go in the ring, I was like, "This is serious."
I hope Shane, I hope Stockade, I hope everyone from NYWC is definitely listening to this because Shane made that moment happen.
That's one of those minor details that takes something from good to real.
Let me tell you this.
You guys are awesome, man.
Let me tell you this.
I was really like, "Yo, he hurt."
Yo, everybody kept asking each other. Is you all right?
Yeah,
and they kept coming to the ring. Yo, you all right?
Go ahead.
You know, it's hard to say because you guys are from the last FBW show till now. You guys are about the fifth person that has asked me. Because the funny thing is about a month or two later, I actually did get hurt. And I missed about a month of wrestling because I was hurt. And a lot of people coincidentally thought it was from that. And the fact that
we had
moment,
been believing it until now, you jerk.
The fact that I'm not saying I wasn't hurt. The fact that moment really turned a lot of people's heads is exactly what we were going for.
That's dope. That's very nice.
And that's the beauty of wrestling. And if you guys can all always remember that when you go to a show that I don't care how many 450 splashes you see or dives to the outside. If you guys are able to react to a moment like that, that's exactly what wrestling is. And Stockade and the Crusade for Change, even though we may not see eye to eye, the fact that they were able to put that together with, like I said, I don't want to say it in this way, but the John Cena of the company, you could see that people are going to sympathize with that, and people genuinely cared about my well-being. Now, forget about your personal relationships with Stockade and TJ because I know they've been on the show. Yeah. But their characters, if that had happened to them, would you guys have felt the same way? Do you feel like the emotion of the crowd would have been the same?
No, not at all.
And I think that's the beauty of what we're trying to deliver.
Yeah.
I think that's really is the beauty of what we're trying to deliver.
I mean, personally, I don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Of course,
but if everybody's gathering ring like they did for TJ, I would have still. I'm like, I think he's hurt. But everybody would have been asking a lot of questions had it been them. So
that's
I can agree with that. I'd have still been like, oh my god,
something's not right.
And you are a very good actor. I love that.
He was like, I was acted. I was hurt.
He couldn't get up.
You got the Devon Dudley twitch.
I was like, oh my god, he's dead.
That's in the block.
But before we get out of here, before we get into the final question,
took a month away from my career.
You got anything you want to talk about, PJ?
Sure.
Because you haven't really talked a lot. So.
It's for the best. You guys should know that.
Let's see. Got a couple of shows coming up. Want to cue everybody in onto exactly where we're going to be on February 26th. FSW comes to the American Legion.
Right.
On February 27th, NYWC.
Psycho
Deer Park,
Circus
Long Island.
14,
Psycho
baby.
Circus, the biggest show of the year. Then in March, at the end of March, March 26th, we have Dynasty Professional Wrestling coming out of Troy, New York. It'll be Mike Verna Appreciation Night.
Oh, yeah.
So I can guarantee you that's
at Dynasty Pro Wrestling. That's going to be
can't miss.
That's going to be my first
There's going to be
appearance as
streamers.
champion.
There's going to be party. There's going to be loose women and a lot of drinks. It's going to be Mike Verna Appreciation Night coming to Troy, New York, March 26th. And on April 29th, FBW returns to St. Finbar in Brooklyn, New York.
And that's the announced shows. Like I said, I want to keep it pretty much
Card
relatively
subject
close.
to change, but I think we're pretty good. Hopefully we'll get another FBW show somewhere in the middle if it's a little spontaneous. But as of now, that's our schedule going forward.
FBW will do that too.
Yeah.
If they got the right means and they negotiate right now, and if the wrestlers be online and they free and they ain't booked up, they'll do it.
FBW is doing big things these days. I got a few more dates in between that, but they're out of the state. Florida, a couple ones in Pennsylvania. So that's pretty much the main ones we got going on right now.
So, July 30th, 2015, NYWC presents Trust No One. You were in one of the most...
Cuffed in the cage, right?
Yep. You were in one of the most barbaric
This is
matches
awkward.
NYWC matches of all time.
This is why people question his manhood.
Against his group called the A-Listers. Real quick, you want to touch? Well, you don't even have to touch on that. But now you're going into the Psycho Circus match.
I'd say the most brutal match in New York City, and the reason that being is that even though CZW does all this stuff, New York City has so much guidelines, but with the athletic commission,
exactly,
and the Psycho Circus is a match that is
Still sanctioned by the athletic commission, but you don't see.
Yeah,
NYWC is not known for its barbarism.
Yeah, it's not your
be
traditional NYWC match. It's something that the fans really are not used to seeing.
You want to explain to them real quick the match?
Yeah, the match right now is going to be the Hounds of Hatred, which is led by the NYWC champion Stockade with his hounds, Boom Bam, Mouse, King Mega, and Apollyon, with Devil Doll lurking somewhere in the back, being really creepy and whatnot.
I was saying a lot of fans don't know what a Psycho Circus match is.
Okay,
that's what I was saying.
Well, the rules are somewhat flexible.
Yeah, they're
well,
flexible.
Year to year,
PJ could explain because he has that.
He's that managerial thing.
Yeah. You know how like before Fall Brawl they explain the rules on TV? You could do that right now.
Well, I'll tell you this. Before he gets into it, because he's never been involved in a Psycho Circus.
I've never been involved, and it changes year.
It
would be better.
It changes.
It changes, but basically, it's there are certain stipulations to the match. Usually, it's elimination. Sometimes it's not. For the most part, it's 5 teams. 2 teams composed of 5 guys each, who've had pretty much a long feud over the course of a year that basically it's the WrestleMania. It's the end-all to end-all.
Right.
The match is brutal. There's cages, there's barbed wire, there's fire at times, there's tables, ladders, chairs, you name it, it's going to be in that match.
Right.
Anything goes. It's a match where 2 teams or two men who really genuinely hate each other are. It's the only way it's going to get settled. The
war to settle the score.
It ended Mikey Whipwreck's career. That's the best way I could say it. That was Mikey Whipwreck's last match, and it ended his career. That's how brutal the match is, and that's a shoot.
Are you ready? Are you ready though?
You know, I thankfully I have no choice. Is right. I've never been known for my hardcore skills, which is usually a good thing. But in this type of match, it could be a bad thing because you're going against Stockade, who is the king of New York hardcore. He's the king of New York hardcore. You have Apollyon, who's been one of his trusted allies for years when they were the Order of the Black. Which goes all the way back to Psycho Circus 10.
Shout out to Crusher Dugan, the straw that stirs
Crusher
the drink.
Dugan, who is an evil
managerial
human being.
idol.
You got Crusher, and then you have his students, his hounds, for lack of a better word. These are guys that he brought up to live the same life that he lives in the same style that he lives.
Right.
And then you got guys like us who are just not made for matches like this, and we got to go into it and we got to be prepared. That's really it. We got to be willing to do anything, whatever it takes to stand by our guy.
And O and Talon.
It's me, Big O, Talon, Anthony Lacera, and Jesse Vane. That's the 5, the O team.
That's not a bad. That's a good team. That ain't a bad team at all.
Yeah, no, it's I would say, luckily to say, it's arguably from a singles competitive standpoint. I mean, you obviously have Rex and Blake there, who are premier tag team wrestlers. Milk Chocolate, who are top of the notch these days. But in regards to the A-listers who have been doing their thing,
Alvin Alvarez has definitely been impressing me.
Alvin Alvarez,
he's Japan ready.
He's Japan ready. He's got such a unique
his matches. When I look at his matches, I see like New Japan Pro Wrestling all over him.
He's got a great presence. He's got a great look.
He's got a really
great
good
aura.
And once again, it's another guy who can get genuine heat. It's not easy to do.
He'll be going against Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy whooped my butt, unfortunately.
Yeah,
that
was entertaining.
They will be continuing that match because at Sideshow they had the gauntlet match. Joe Gacy had the gauntlet match, and he
Didn't end well.
I'm not supposed to be biased, but
Sign up to NYWC Archives and watch it.
only for $2.99.
That's $2.99.
Alvin's gonna take it home.
For what?
$2.99. That's it. And I think if you sign up, you also get a free ticket for an upcoming show. So that's definitely
except for
worth it.
Psycho Circus.
Yeah, that you got to buy because we're looking to have 800 people in that place.
That's going to be the biggest show, man.
How early do we need to be there to set up?
If you don't have if you're going to set up a table, I would say get there
the earlier the
5,
better.
6.
Oh yeah.
Even before that, if Shane gives you the okay, because that place, I told anyone who's willing to come, I said if you want to come, buy tickets now.
Yeah.
Because that building gets packed.
There's no
and
guarantee.
by the time that
there.
circus is on, it's chaos. It's chaos. It's
Where
chaos.
is Psycho Circus going to be at?
It's going to be at the NYWC Sportatorium, and that's on Deer Park, New York. I believe it's 432 Brook Avenue in the Industrial Park, and it's the Sportatorium, world famous.
We will be there. Well, I just want to honestly say I appreciate you guys, and it's been an honor and a pleasure.
This
talking
has been
with
a lot
you
of
guys.
fun. A lot of fun. Like you said when we started, I feel like these things can go on for more hours.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
When it comes to wrestling, there's a lot to talk about.
Well, we could talk more throughout the upcoming days leading to Psycho Circus. Wish you guys luck and
Thank you, sir.
Hopefully, you guys be safe.
Yeah, that's what it comes down
you.
to. Friday FSW at the Legion. Saturday NYWC at Deer Park Sportatorium. The NYWC Sportatorium.
The NYWC Psycho Circus. February 27, 2016, in the NYWC Sportatorium in Deer Park, New York, for the NYWC Starlet title match, Aria Cadenza versus Willow Nightingale. The NYWC Fusion title, the A-listers banned from ringside match, Alvin Alvarez versus Joe Gacy. Family versus family match, CJ Bambino, Little Guido, and Tony Mamaluke versus Chrissy Rivera, Jigsaw and Tyler Murphy. Tag team grudge match, Milk Chocolate versus the Beaver Boys. The NYWC Tag Team title match, Flawless and Lawless, Blake Morris and Rex Lawless versus Anthony Nese and Chuck Taylor. And for the NYWC World Heavyweight Championship, the Psycho Circus match, Hounds of Hatred, Stockade, Apollyon, Bam Sullivan, Boo Sullivan, King Mega versus the O-Team, Anthony Lacera, Jesse Vane, Talon, The Big O, and my newest favorite wrestler in the independent circuit, Mike Verna.
I hope that lasts until next week, at least.
This has been Square Business Radio. We hope you enjoyed yourselves. Nobody got paid, but we hope you have a good night. For PJ Stackpole, Mike Verna, my guy Alex, DJ Arsonist, I'm your boy Sosa DiBiase. It's been a pleasure. You guys have a wonderful, safe night. We will see you guys next Thursday. Psycho Circus 14, February 27th, 2016. Be there.